Right. Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you once again to FUNAAB Zoo Park. And here, as I said earlier, we have so many animals. Which by the grace of God this afternoon, you have privilege to see some of the animals that you've not seen in your life, and some other ones that you've seen maybe on TV and the likes. You have the privilege to have a close range or close distance with them. And this afternoon, before we go on tour, I would like to just tell you a few things. Which, number one, I will tell you about our do's and don'ts in FUNAAB Zoo Park. Because over here we have some do's and we have some things that you must not do, which are taboos. And this afternoon, one of the things that you must not do is that you must not go ahead of the tour guide. The people that will take you on tour are called tour guides, and you must not go ahead of them. The reason is because we have so many of these animals that are very aggressive. Some of them, like the baboons, we have so many snakes at free range which could hurt you, and we don't want such a scenario. And because of that, we take it as a privilege to address our visitors before we move them on tour. And the second thing that you must not do is that you must not be too close to our cages. These animals are aggressive, they can slap, they can remove your wig, they can collect your school bag, and anything they collect like that, instantly they destroy it. And we don't want such a scenario. And the third thing that you must not do is that you must not feed our animals. If you bring anything like banana or any fruit, biscuits, Coke, Viju milk, whatever you've brought for them, you first give the tour guide who will inspect it and be sure that these things are healthy for the animals to eat, for the sake of diseases, infections, and the likes. Is that clear? Yes. Is that clear? Yes. Is that very, very clear? Yes. And in addition to that, when you come back from tour, we have children playing ground where you have privilege to play with so many children gadgets, playing gadgets, swings. We have so many of them there. When you get there, you get to see all of those things. And also we have some of these free-range animals. One of them we have the donkeys. Like the set that just left, they had the privilege to snap with the donkeys. The little one were able to sit on the donkeys and they take photographs. And when you come back, you will get to have access to all these opportunities. Is that clear? Yes. So do you have any question before we proceed on the journey? No question? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. Okay. Just feel free. The reason why you've come here is for educational purposes. I think I'm correct. For education. And also to feed your eyes. So the people that will be taking you on tour, who are your tour guide, they are going to demystify the animals to you. They will tell you their names, tell you what they feed on, tell you so many things about the animals. And please, just feel free. Take your time to ask as many questions as possible. And I also advise that you get a pen and a jotter or a book where you can write one or two things for the purpose of reference. Exactly. So just stop where you are. Just stop. Okay.
You're talking about your snakes and all that. I did not cage the snakes.
Okay. Our uncle just asked a very nice question actually. He said, I talked about snakes. Are they not caged or they are also on free range? We have two sets of snakes. We have some that are caged and we have others that are on free range. And the free range one thing about them is that they won't attack you except you cross your boundary. That's why I said earlier, go behind your tour guide. Allow the tour guide to be in your front, then you go behind. Once that is done, you are safe. There's no harm. And those ones that are in cages or that are confined, please do well not to be too close to their cages or wherever they are kept, for you not to be injured. Is that clear? Yes. Any other question? No question. We can begin the journey by turning just on where you are. So before we go,
so they can be used as security pets. What do they eat? They eat sorghum. They eat maize. You know maize now, corn. They eat maize. They eat groundnuts. They eat palm kernel. They even eat sugar cane. Do you understand? Yes. So this is our African grey parrot, and they would have spoken, but probably because they don't know the faces. So Probably, I think you were listening then, they were making some funny sounds before we got here. Yes. You heard them, right? They were making some funny sounds. Now, down there, we'll get to the cage there, but because they won't want to come to that side by the time we'll be getting there. Down there is our white geese. They are ducks. You know white geese?
Yes.
Now, they are ducks. They are filter feeders. You know what it means to be a filter feeder? No, right? Their food is, they always want their food to be inside water. So they will be taking their food from inside water. They don't like it if their food is just on the floor. Do you understand? Now, did you see them putting their mouth inside that bowl? It is because there is water in that bowl. So they love water. They are water lovers. They love to be around and they love to walk in groups. They also eat sorghum. They also eat maize. But when we want to feed them, their food has to be inside water for them to be able to eat it. Do you understand?
Yes.
Any other question? Can we move ahead?
Yes.
Are we good to go?
Good to go. Good to go.
This one is peacock, right? We all know it is peacock. What is this one? Do they look alike?
No.
They don't, right? Now, this is, both of them, they are called peafowl. Do you understand?
Yeah.
They are called peafowl. But the male, I don't want to tell you. Oh. Anyways, the male is called peacock. This is the male. The female is called PN. Do you understand? Yeah. So this is the female. This is the male. This is called peacock and this is called
PN.
Good, PN. Now, in most of the birds and animals generally, the male is always very fine. Are you getting what I'm saying? The male is always very fine and very colorful because they use that as a means to attract the females to themselves. That's why most times when we see, have you guys seen pictures of peacock?
Yes.
You know, they're always spreading their feathers like this. Yes. Now, that attitude is to be able to attract females to themselves. You know, the females are not as fine as they are. So that beautiful feathers will attract the females to them. Do you understand? Which one is the male?
Peacock.
Which one is the female?
Yeah.
Good. And they are called, both of them, peafowl. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now that one there, you see that it's different from this ones?
Yes.
It is called crown crane. Crown. You know crown? Yes. Then the name is crane. It is called crown crane because of the crown, the golden crown on the head. It is also a bird. It can fly. Do you understand? It can fly. Now, these ones love to eat their food dry. We don't put their food in water. They love to eat it dry. But that one on the other hand cannot feed without the food being inside water. They are called filter feeders. Do you understand? They cannot feed without their food being inside the water. So we have that basin to put their food, to put that one's food inside, and that place to put this one's food there. But one thing they have in common is the fact that they are both birds. One, two, they eat insects. We have some insects that I probably will miss them on the way. Just remind me that I want to show you some the insects they eat. There are some insects that they eat together. Do you understand? They love to eat they feed on insects too. That's why you're always seeing them looking at the floor, trying to check if they can get something to eat. Do you understand? They eat sorghum, they eat maize too. Uncooked though, raw corn and sorghum. You know sorghum? Yes. Good. So can we go ahead?
Yes.
And they love to fly, they love to just play around and be jumping and everything. Just as the way they are staying like that, they peck on ice. They peck on ice too. So this is our kite. They love to stay in the shady, that's opening. They love to stay there. So they feed on intestines, fresh, not cooked, but fresh intestines.
How do you now get their food?
We have we get fetus of cow. So the intestines, and sometimes even rats too, they feed on the intestines of rats. Anything fleshy.
But they don't go out to like search for their own food.
No, we can't. We bring it to them inside. So there's a way the curators just go in and feed them. Do you understand? Any other question, please? It's always more colorful than the female, right? Remember I told you that the male is always more colorful. Now I missed both of them. Which one is the male? This one. Which one is the female? Correct. Clap for yourself. So this is the male. This is the female. They are ostriches. They are flightless birds. They cannot fly, though they are birds. So they cannot fly.
They are too big
And
to
exactly,
fly.
their weight is too big for them to fly. But they have very, very strong leg. The hoofs are very, very strong, and they know how to, they can kick very well. Once they feel threatened and they feel cornered, they can kick and they can peck. Their mouth, their beak is enough to peck and injure somebody. Do you understand? They lay eggs. They lay eggs. They don't give birth to
life.
Yeah, exactly. So they lay eggs, and their egg is as big as 25 times the normal egg.
Wow.
It is big. We have the egg, one of the eggs in the museum. We'll see it when we get back. So you see it, and they run too. They have very high speed, 65 kilometers per hour. That's how far they run. Now, naturally, the males are more aggressive than the female. The males they are a little bit. Do you know what is called aggressive? Yes, they are kind of wicked, exactly, violent, more violent than the females. And one thing that is in their species is that once the female lays the egg, you know, in hen to lays egg, you know now.
Listen.
Our normal hen, they lay eggs too. But in ostriches, when a female lays the egg, the male and female take turns in sitting down on the egg till it hatches. They don't leave it to the female alone to sit on it. Both of them, once the female is tired, she stands up. Then the male too will come and sit down there till the lady will come back to again. And they are always this faithful family, once the female that they grew up with is gone, the other female cannot just come. They tend to be violent on the other one. So that's one thing about their make. Do you understand? Any question? Any question? You don't even ask me what they eat. And I said any question, you don't ask me. Are we tired already? We're just starting this journey. So what they eat growers mash. Grower, GROWERS, growers mash, MASH. And then they eat corn too. So that's our ostrich. And this is not even the highest size self. They are still babies.
These are still babies?
Yeah, they are still.
At how old?
They should be like around, this should be around 12, 13 months. No.
Yes.
They are still children.
They live for how many years?
They can live up to like 30, 45. They can. Even that African grey parrot can stay up to 60 in captivity.
Wow.
They are more colorful than the female, right? Which one is the male and female?
This one is the male, this one is the female.
No. Sir, which one is the Mallard Duck. Is it correct?
Yes.
No. She said it's not correct, right? So which one is the male?
This one is the male, this one is the female.
Who supports her? Okay, so she's on her own. Anyways, this is the male. This is the female.
That's okay.
The male is they are always fine. This one is also beautiful, we know. But the male is always having this fine characteristic, this fine color around. Do you understand? And they are called Mallard. We know pepper now.
Yes.
So this is pepper, but it is not found in Africa. This one is found in Europe, Asian countries. They are not found in Africa. And they lay eggs too. They can lay up to 13 eggs at once. They can lay up to, and they are filter feeders too. They feed inside water. They are massively in love with water. They love water. There's a bowl. They are the ones that we put their food inside, and they eat maize, sorghum, beans.
They eat and they drink the water
alongside. They are filter feeders too. So they eat, and sometimes we cook. We also give them cooked maize and cooked beans. Do we understand? That's one of our surveillance. So they also eat those ones too. And this is how our ducks are. So let's move to the crocodiles. This Gabon Viper. You saw it there, right? Yes. No, it has not died. It is alive. Very much alive. It is called Gabon Viper. It is one of the most venomous snakes. Like they are so poisonous. Have you seen it? Yes. So few days ago it molted. There's something called molting in snakes. That is shedding off of skins. So that's the skin on the floor. You just shed it off a few days ago.
Why? Why do they shed?
It's just like changing clothes. They tend to change after a while.
So before they change their clothes, another one will have been.
We've been there,
inside.
yeah. Are they been the day it's molted? Initially, the skin is not
Are you
as bright
listening?
as this.
Yes.
But that it was formerly that skin. This part, so it was getting dry and all. So the day it's molted, immediately the skin was on the floor and it moved back into this thing. It was so bright, the color was so fine, exactly, and it was wet. Because I saw it that day. I knew the day it's molted. I was here that day, but I was not there in the process. It was molting because most times they don't molt when people are around. It has to be. So it had molted like few hours to that time. That was when I came over, and I said it was inside that bowl. It's inside that bowl. It was wet and very bright and beautiful. But as beautiful as it is very, very poisonous. One strike can kill you within 10 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Just one strike
Pick your
within
phone
10 minutes. It can kill. So this is called vipers. It is just like we have the puff adder. Those ones are inside the bush. The puff adder is also very venomous. We have the python. The python is inside. You will see the python. I'll show you the python inside. A very big one.
My bag.
We'll show you a very big one. It's a very big python. So this is our Gabon Viper. We feed them with chicks. You know chicks now?
Yes.
Yes, that are alive. Chicks that are alive. So and we feed them once in 2 weeks because they cannot digest easily.
Yes.
They cannot digest food easily. They tend to use up to 2 weeks before the food can be well digested. In fact, our python, there was a time they tried to see if it can eat something else, even when it just finished feeding. It didn't. We dropped in a rabbit and it fed on the rabbit. The other rabbit, it just left it there because it had eaten. So it cannot eat something else. It does not digested that one. So how is it possible to eat the other one? So we feed them once in 2 weeks to give them time to digest that one. They are not like human beings that once I've eaten this morning, now I'm hungry again. Do you understand?
Yes.
So so that is the body. On the other hand, once they've eaten, they won't touch it. They'll just leave it there.
Wow.
That's how it's. And
Did they tear the chicken or they swallow it?
they
alive?
swallow.
So
They swallow.
when they now eat, they stay in a
Yes.
stay molt like.
They stay there, but it depends on the type of food they eat. If the food is like the python now, you'll see it when we get to it. The python is very big, like 16 feet. So
You're not listening.
giving it one rabbit cannot make it stay in one position. It can still move because it is not as big. Unlike giving them a goat. If you should give a python a python that is big enough to swallow a goat. If you should give a python a goat, definitely it will have to stay in one position. The only thing it can do is just be moving the head little by little. But then, if you should give it something like a small rabbit, or it can still move around. Though it might not eat the next one, but it can still move around because it's not heavy. Exactly. So that's the thing with it. So that's our Gabon Viper. Yes. And they have a tongue like that of a snake. Like the tongue is long, but it has two opening, like kind of sharp. I pray it brings out the stuff. We have like two, but the other one they burrow.
That's where the poison is.
Yes. They don't actually have a striking poison.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yes.
Good. So one thing they do is they spit.
Then what it out again?
Did you capture it? Did you see it?
That's what they are picking set with it.
Yes. One thing they do is they spit, and their spit has enough bacteria to injure somebody. That's why people
they live inside wood.
Yes, they burrow too. They burrow. It's already going into. They have two. The other one is inside. The other one likes to be inside the hole. They are burrowers. Do you understand?
This one did not come out now. How old
Never mind them. That's how they do. They are burrowers. They love to burrow the ground and till and everything. And they are carnivorous. And their tail is sharp. Once they swing, it can cut. Their tail is sharp too. And they have sharp claws as well. Yes. And they are fast. They can just be doing as if they are actually fast. They are fast animals, reptiles. So that's our. And we feed them with chicks too. Feed them because they are carnivorous.
Are we still going there?
No, darling. I'm going back this way to see the crop. It's called water turtle, and they are carnivorous. Yes. They eat flesh too, but dead flesh. They eat the flesh too, but it's dead flesh. You can see there's one that you can't see beja the middle. Yes, they are semi-aquatic. They can stay on land and they can stay in water. Do we understand?
Yes.
So this is the water
Their
turtle.
back will look as if there is nothing. It's just like
Yes,
stone.
it's
or
just like
something.
exactly. You think there's nothing there.
You think this one is not
Yeah, exactly.
alive and. But there are small ones. Abi?
Yes, small ones. They are all very alive, very much alive. All. They are all very. Look at that one.
Why
The
is
head.
the water like this?
We would have changed the water, but the fact that the water is dirty has some effect, healthy effect on them.
Top.
So that's why we just decided to leave it for some time.
Okay.
We would have changed it, but they said we should just watch it